Yo, 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 yo. What's up, what's up? Welcome back. Today we're working on my stream start screen. So, uh, we have this guy here, and this is what we've been working on a little bit. Sorry, let me just set this up a little bit better. Camera freeze? Oh, it does kind of look that way. Hold on, let's see if we can fix that. That's fucking annoying. Everything else is looking okay. I think we're back. Thanks. Yeah, so the past few days we've been kind of working on this like stream intro screen. There are like reasons for it. I'm not gonna reiterate them, but it's like kind of nice to have. And so we have this like kind of fun little thing where it says like, hey, the stream is gonna start at a. So let me reduce the size of this guy. Actually, hold on. Let's have him. So we'll just divide by 2 for both these, and hopefully that looks a little. Oops, almost. Sorry. Here we go. Okay, so you have this stream intro screen that says like, hey, this is what we're gonna work on. It has this like little fun little animation for like how long from stream starting, and it looks like kind of like my terminal, not really, but kind of, and that's kind of fun because like. I don't know. It's like a programming stream. I kind of like the way it looks. And I'm like, reasonably happy with it. But I was thinking it would be kind of fun to see what it looks like if we were to try to like do something like this, but like on a CRT, right? Like it's kind of fun to have like maybe like the green and like the like bowing of the like CRT screen, and maybe you get like a little bit of the edges in there. I'm not sure. I just like kind of wanted to take a look and see if I'd like that. So and then if we do like that, that kind of opens up like a can of worms that might be kind of fun to dive into. Like if we were to try to implement some like 3D-esque things in our custom script, like would that like I guess what does that look like? Which would be kind of fun. So I think we're gonna like try it. Maybe like pop open Blender, make like a little scene, and like move the camera around, see what looks good, if what we like, what we don't like, and if we like it, then we can try like popping it into Godot and like seeing like writing a couple quick shaders and seeing if like we like the way it looks animated. And if we like that, then we can dive into like the giant rabbit hole of like, well, if we wanted to do that in raw OpenGL, how much work is that? So yeah, that's the plan. Did you write the brick maze? Yeah, I did. This is like a Godot project where it like auto generates a maze and it just like walks through it. Pretty straightforward, pretty fun. It was like my kind of like intro to Godot. And yeah, it's pretty fun, pretty good, pretty fun. I don't know, nothing too crazy. Okay, so what do I want to look at? I guess the first thing we want is like some sort of inspiration for like CRTs. So I wanted to pull up like maybe something like this, and maybe have like I think they have like really old green CRTs. Like yeah, I was kind of imagining something along these lines where like maybe you can see like the scan lines and stuff. It's kind of fun with the anti-aliasing, or not the like if your like power lines are running at like 60 hertz, but the TVs or sorry, the TV might be like scanning at like some frequency, and your like shutter speed might be at a different frequency. So often you see like in these like videos of CRTs, you see like this kind of like fun banding effect. People like put like static on it. Anyways, I wanted to take a look and see maybe we like draw the text on that in a room or something. So, let's just try to like look up like what does a CRT look like? I don't want like this. This seems like a fine image. It's kind of like fat on the front, thick on the back. And yeah, I was just kind of like bang something like that out. So let's go into Blender. That is like in a really annoying spot. Let's kind of move this guy somewhere where he's a little more visible. Okay. So I guess we have. Can I open image in new tab? Here we go. Okay. Yeah. So he's like maybe like halfway down, maybe not quite halfway down. He gets like a little skinnier. So probably we're gonna like try to like scale that down a little bit. And maybe this guy gets a little like longer. And he's a little too skinny. So let's kind of fatten him up a little. Sure. That looks about right. We'll like pull in a little like inside face. And then I think if I remember correctly, the way these look like on the inside is like there's like a little like gun in here that's like firing light beams at the screen like this. And so there's like probably like some projector back here with like visibility to the screen everywhere. Not that that matters, but it just kind of like means that if I'm like gonna like move this guy in, like do I cut a hole here? Probably not. But maybe I can like, you know, pretend like, there's probably like some sort of like background in here that looks kind of like this, which is maybe relevant in some way if our screen starts to look transparent later. I don't know. Fuck it. Okay. I guess we can like start making it smoother. Smooth it out a little bit so I can't see the modifiers under this fucking keyboard overlay. Subdivision. Okay. So let's just like throw in some like extra geometry to make it keep its shape when we subdivide. Probably like that. And like that. Maybe subdivide a little more, and then maybe shade smooth. That looks okay. I don't think I like, I want it to be like, there to be like more of a slope on that guy. So maybe like that. There's something like I don't like here. Maybe I need like another harder edge like that there. That seems okay. I kind of want like harder edges on the outside here. And then maybe I want like, yeah. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, baby. That looks decent. This guy's kind of like fatter on the bottom half. Let's just kind of like bring him down. Yeah. Fuck it. That looks probably good enough. I don't like the like, we probably need to like, this guy needs to be like a sharper edge in here too. Not that it matters. Not that it matters. Okay. Let's save this just over top of whatever the fuck that was. That doesn't matter. And then I guess we need like a screen. So we'll name this monitor. Huck a little screen on top. So I think, if I remember correctly, there's like this like 2 sphere. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for. So let's kind of just make some geometry in here that we can like fuck with. Cool. And then there's like this like 2 sphere. That's not doing what I want. I think it's relative to the cursor, maybe. 2 sphere. No. Maybe we have to do this. 2 sphere. Ah, there we go. Okay. So I guess probably let's maybe put this in the right spot and then start making it sphere looky. Let's kind of shrink it a little bit. And then move it in. And then 2 sphere. Oh, baby, that looks sick. Perfect. That looks pretty good. I don't like the back of this needs to like hold its shape better. Now it like looks like too square though. So maybe we like pull these guys down a little bit. I don't know. Fuck it. That's fine. This guy's like rounded top. So we can like kind of maybe try pulling in some of these vertices. Let's just make sure that we're only looking at the ones we want. How do I like get rid of these guys? No, I want only these. That's kind of doing jack shit. I guess it's these ones as well. There we go. That doesn't look too bad. So this was like down here. Oh, I missed one. Fuck. Oh, why does this look different? Why does... Oh, because I didn't mirror this. I didn't do this one. Okay. Okay. Don't want any of these. And I did want... Oh, fuck. Fuck. It's so hard to, like, select what I want. What the fuck? I guess we'll turn this guy off so we can, like, see him a little better. There we go. So I want this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Probably this guy as well. Probably. Sure. And then I want, like, these guys, and I want to drag them down like I did on the other side. Hold on. Kind of like... Ooh. Yeah, that's what I did. Nice. Okay. Sure. That's probably fine. I don't think I'll ever look at it from the bottom, so I don't really care that that doesn't look good. Alright, that looks kind of like a CRT. Let's give it some color and like maybe... Yeah, let's give it some color. Give it some color. Okay, so these guys are like a little yellowy sometimes because they're old. And I don't know what that is when it gets like that like gross brown effect. Is that for people like smoking? I know like walls turn yellow when people smoke inside. But that can't be what this is. Like it's just old. Why does old stuff turn yellow? Why does old stuff turn yellow? Excess UV exposure? Neat. So the more plastic is exposed to UV, the quicker it changes color. Neat. Alright. That's like probably a little too much. Maybe like saturate a little less. Perfect. That looks pretty good. Maybe like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll adjust again when we get it like in a more realistic view. I'm just trying to start somewhere. All right. Maybe we set up like a little bit of like a lighting setup. So I'll probably want this like in the dark. Maybe. Right? We can like imagine that we're like fucking gamers in like our dark room with all the lights off, looking at our screen, because that'll like make it like a little glowier if we put text on it. So let's try to get like a nighttime HDRI, like environment HDRI. Just to get like some sort of lighting for us to like look at and see, light our monitor, see what it looks like. I like that. That's decent. I like that. Let's take this one. Let's take this one. All right. Then somewhere in here you say like, I want a background that doesn't look like shit, please. There we go. Okay. So that's about the right color. That seems reasonable. You go like maybe a little bit more yellow. Maybe. Yeah, fuck it. I don't know. That looks fine. This guy we want to be like pretty transparent. Not transparent. Shiny, a very smooth glass. And then let's like throw some text on him. So let's like maybe pull up our start screen. And we can just like screenshot this guy at a point in time. I hope this doesn't fuck up my stream, actually. That seems like screenshotting like this actually seems like the kind of thing that might. Looks like it's still okay. All right. So maybe we shove that in here. We take a screenshot. And then what we can do is we can like use that as a texture for something. So let's just for now shove it into color and we'll deal with it later, figure it out. So pictures, what did I just screenshot? I screenshot this guy. So we gotta kind of like fuck up his UV coordinates a little bit. So vector rotate around the center and rotate like 90 degrees. Let's just plug this guy in here. Whoa! Okay. That's starting to resemble something like what we want. It's also like way too fat. So we could fix that by like UV mapping better. But I find it easier to just kind of like do some math on the coordinate space. So these should all be 1. And then I can just like kind of scale it the way I want this way. Probably that looks pretty good. If we just say don't fucking repeat, just extend, and then we just have to offset this. This will be a multiply add. And this guy has to be like, ugh. Maybe a little skinnier. Maybe a little bit more over to the right. Okay. It'll probably have to be bigger than that. Yo. How long have I been a streamer? I quit my job in August and then decided that in my spare time I would do this. So I guess like what month is it just now? December. So August, September is probably when I actually started streaming. So September, October, November, 3 months. 3 months. We've been at this. It's going pretty well, I think. Pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with what we're making. Okay, so I don't think I want this to be color though. I want this to be like a mask that we use to set like, I want it to like glow, right? So like using emission here is probably how we want to do it. Oh, so I don't have a day job anymore? Yeah, I'm kind of like taking like a bit of a break just like because, you know, I saved up a bunch. Was getting like a little stressed. It's like, oh, I can just take like some vacation time. So taking some time off. If this goes well, maybe we don't have to go back, but we'll see. We'll see. For now, we're just doing this for fun. I don't want this to be so bubbly. Can I like unspherify it? Maybe not. Maybe we can just like kind of like scale it in X around the bounding box center and that'll kind of, yeah, that looks good. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, sorry, we were sticking this into emission so that we can get a little bit of glow out of it. So here, color 1 is black, color 2 is green. And we're kind of bleeding a lot. Like we're like, it's not really like I want the blacks to be blacker, so what we can do is we can do like a linear mapping to try to get like mask off this thing. Yeah. I want the brighters to be brighter. Noise. That looks okay. I'd like to see it like glow more. But maybe like the max glow from such a small amount of text isn't that much. Or maybe we need to be in like a darker room so that we can kind of see the effect of the glow a little better. Yo, any chance of sharing dot files? I worry that there's like stuff in there that's a little bit too personal, so I don't like put them online. There's nothing like too crazy in there. Like I've kind of got like my like prompt that I've worked on a little bit. I've like no, that's like the prompt, like tmux. I've done like a little bit of tmux configuration, and like a bunch of Vim configuration. But like I don't know. I would say just when you get frustrated by things, fix them, and eventually you'll build up something that's like pretty reasonable. I don't think you have to. I think defaults in general are like not that far off from being good enough. I also try like not to stray too far from defaults, because then when I'm working on like other people's stuff, it's not that much harder to like type on someone else's computer. I want to see more glow here. I wonder if I can like maybe just like overall we kind of bump up the brightness here, and maybe we also tint this a little bit green, and just don't do it that much. And then maybe we see the effects more if our like whole world is darker. That doesn't really seem like it. Oh, because the light's on as well. There we go. That's kind of... Maybe we want to even be a little brighter. That's kind of neat. But I don't like how green the whole screen is. It's fun to see when people can't use Vim on someone else's computer because they bound caps lock to escape. Dude, I bound like caps lock to control, and every time my friends come over, they like lose their goddamn minds. I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's easier for me to go the other way because I'm used to knowing that everybody else's keyboard has caps lock swapped. But man, when people use my computer, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, yeah, that's reasonable. I really want this to like be brighter from the inside. I don't know how to like... I don't know how to make that happen. Okay, whatever. We'll maybe come back to that. I think also we probably want this to like... I don't know. Let's see. What do I do with the camera here? What do I do with the camera? Do I want it like straight on? If I do this, I don't need any background. Do I like that if we like render an image? That's kind of cool. That could work, right? If we threw this on the start screen and this was like animated, that wouldn't be too bad. I wonder if it like looks better if we like throw it at an angle though and like stick it on a desk or something. Let's just like quickly see what that would look like. Let's see. I want this like log camera to viewport off. And let's like stick us in like a little room. I guess now trying to think about like scale is kind of important. So I don't really know how big like a monitor is. I guess like 27-inch or like 24-inch is my monitor. So like what's 24 is like the diagonal. So my monitor is like, this is some number times, okay, we can find like this angle by figuring out this is like 1920 by 1080. We can figure out this angle and then figure out how many pixels this is diagonally, and then scale it down. So we don't even need the angle. We can just do 1920, Calc. 1920 times 1920 plus 1080, oopsies, plus 1080 times 1080, and then we square root that, and that should give us how many pixels we have on the diagonal. Do I not have a fucking square root on this guy? Squirt. Am I high? There should be... Isn't your monitor for Blender not 16 by 9? Yeah, but I'm just trying to get like an approximate height. Like, am I crazy? Does this thing not have a square root on it? God damn it. Can I... Is this copied? If I like just squirt. Also, it's probably behind hype. 2202 pixels across. So if I'm trying to scale that down to like 22, this is 27 or 24 inches over this 2202. That's like the multiplier for the height, and so I can do this times 1080. And that's the approximate height of my monitor, I think. 11 inches. I'm not sure I believe that I did that right. But you know what? Fuck it. Like a foot, that seems like a reasonable size. I probably could just eyeball that and said it's a foot tall. Okay. So let's just kind of change this guy's height to 1 foot. And then we can take that scalar and apply it to all these. And apply it to the plane as well. Whoop. And then, like, how tall is a ceiling? We need to adjust that as well. Okay. That looks reasonable. Save. I guess we can apply scale on all these. And I guess probably the screen should be parented to the object, and this guy we can call, like, screen. Bucket. Like, pressing hype on kcalc. What does hype stand for? Oh, for, like, hypertangent and hypersine and stuff? I guess. Weird. Still not there. That's crazy. 1 over x reciprocal. Yeah, none of these are... I guess I could just type in 1/2 for the exponent here, but it's very strange that they don't have it on here. That's very, very odd. I think I must be missing something. One of these buttons... Oh! Shift here. This guy brings it up. There we go. Alright, that makes a lot more sense. Okay. I don't know why you would make a calculator this way, but whatever. Fuck it. Okay, wait. So all of this was to see... we want this to be approximately the right scale, so we can look up, like, how tall is a ceiling. Higher ceiling is 12 feet. Today's standard ceiling is 9 feet. Okay. So we can, like, make, like, a little box to put this guy in. And we can make this box 9 foot tall. And kind of scale him along this way to make him, like, look about the shape of a room. Let's go into this mode, and can I turn off, like, somewhere in here there's, like, a way to backface call, and so we can, like, flip all of these normals, and now we can, like, see inside the room. Noise, 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 noise. And I guess we'll just, like, put this guy in the corner. Is that the right height? He feels small. Am I crazy? He's only 1 foot tall. I swear that 1 foot was wrong. I'm gonna scale him up. Fuck it. You think that looks reasonable? That looks like way too small, I think, for like the size of the room. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna make him a little bigger. What's like 2 foot? That seems like reasonable. I don't know. We'll just make him big. Monitors are tiny in the scale room. Yeah, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Alright, let's make a little desk for him to sit on, just so that we have, like, something in the background. You're probably comparing it to a TV. Yeah, I'd believe that. So let's just kind of, like, we'll make him a little desk. Make him a little desk. He will also sit in the corner. Sure. That's like about a desk size, I guess. And we'll make sure the desk doesn't go through the floor. Blender stuff looks fun. Never considered trying it. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I don't know, there's something about like being able to like bang out something like this that's just like really satisfying. I wish when I moved, like, you know, sometimes you're trying to do like furniture layout and you're like, what would fit where? Like, if I had this, if I could do it, like, in here, damn, that would have been nice. Okay, let's give him, like, some, like, table legs. So we're gonna, like, drop another cube inside him, and then use that to cut out some legs for him. Like this, and this. And these guys need to be a little fatter. So scale them this way. And I think the whole thing isn't quite centered. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. That looks maybe approximately right for a desk. Let's just kind of extend his legs out a little. Okay. Good enough, good enough. Boolean, cut out with this guy, hide this guy. Yeah, looks about right. Fuck it. Fuck it. So this is desk time, and this is room desk. All right, and then I guess all of the monitor is in the room, I guess. Or I guess the monitor's on the desk, so parenting that way makes sense. And then the desk is in the room, so parenting that way makes sense. And then if I like move this thing, the monitor moves it. And the lights, we can also start adding lights to the room. So first of all, even though outside it's bright, our room has no light leaking into it, so it's pitch black in here. So let's try to get like a light in there. Yeah, that seems reasonable. And if I like get in the Jesus Christ, that's bright. Holy fuck. I can't even like find. Oh, there it is. Okay, okay. So here. Oh god, where am I? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here's the monitor. It totally wouldn't be creepy at all to model your room out. That'd be pretty funny. I don't know. There's something. Let's make this guy 1,000 watts. Dude, that's a really bright light bulb. 60? Oh, that looks like way more reasonable. And then like let's make him yellow and depressed. Like we're in like a shitty little office building. Let's use like those like incandescents. They're like pretty orange, right? So they're kind of like. Can we get like a little less fucked up looking? Here we go. That looks about right. Sure. Sure. Okay. Like, go back to realistic mode for a second just to get a feel. Maybe it's a little too saturated. It seems reasonable. I guess desks are usually like made of wood. Let's just kind of like throw a little brown on that guy. That's like almost the right color. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so all of this just to say, if we were to put our camera in here, oh my god, can I turn off like the back faces of this guy? In realistic mode, back face culling on this. He doesn't have a material, but we don't need him to. We just need him to have one so that we can do this. Click this button again. Which still isn't working. Is his normals facing the right way? Yeah, they're facing out. I feel like I should be seeing no back faces right now, and I don't know why that's not working. Because I click back face culling. Whatever. We'll just get inside. Okay, let's move our camera somewhere sane. And let's just take a look at like what this guy looks like. If we look at him from a bit of an angle. Okay, we want to like lock camera to viewport and just kind of whoop. So like, what if we did this? Does that look okay? I think I kind of like that better, maybe like a little bit of an angle, as long as like the text was visible enough. We might need to make it. We might just get a little closer, but that would look kind of sick. So maybe we do something like that. Oh god, the like steps are so close. Can we get out of this mode and like just adjust the camera manually? Get it a little closer. Put like put some stuff on the desk too. Yeah, like a coffee cup and some like papers with streamers. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I think I think that's probably pretty good. Maybe if we angle it from the left, we can see the text better. So we kind of pull it this way and rotate it like this, and maybe we bring it in like here. And what does that look like? Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I think I like that. I think that's enough to say that I'd be curious to try like exporting this godot. Oh, I guess the one thing I wanted to do, just because. Ah, fuck! Blender crashed. How much did I lose? No, I hate that shit. How much did I lose? Okay, not that much. It looks like just like camera positioning essentially, which is pretty easy to fix. Thank God. Sometimes I don't save for like forever, and it's a pain in my ass. So probably want like maybe a little higher. Okay. Zoom out and move more to the left, IMO, like kind of like this. Let's see if that look. Like that kind of thing, but maybe a little higher up. I worry that like the text gets a little lost, but we can always make it bigger. Yeah, we can always make it bigger, so it's not the end of the world. Right, we could do this because there's like lots of like wasted space on there. So we could do like reduce the scale of this guy a little bit. What was he at? He's at like 1.4, so we can do like 0.75 and 1.5 or something, and then bring him back on screen a little bit. Nobody should look that close to water; it'll hurt your eyes. Yeah, that could work. That could work. Okay, I guess closing that render window while it's still rendering just like fucks us. That's pretty cool. Love that. Love that. But luckily we saved this time, so. Yeah, alright. So we did something like this. We were like back maybe even a little more. There we go. Yeah, okay. Then the last thing I wanted to do was I like it if the material looks just a little bit better. And so often you can just do this little trick where these guys are like kind of like, they're not like super smooth. If I remember correctly from when I was a kid, they had like these like kind of like rough surface to them that you could like kind of see if you like looked real close. So you can kind of like take one of these like bump guys that basically says like add some like normals to this guy, and you can like shove a noise texture into here. And if I remember correctly, publishing these in should make it look really fucked up. Yeah. Or it looks like really bumpy, and then you just kind of like say like, well, let's increase the detail here a bunch to the point where like you can barely tell. And while that shouldn't really matter, I can't help but try it. So maybe like even more. Even more. And then probably like the distance these guys come off should only be like a millimeter or something. Just to give it a little bit more of a real life feel. Okay, so I think that I have something that like, that looks like pretty good. Fuck it, let's like rotate the monitor a little bit as well. This guy needs to be like, he needs to be sitting on the table. Yeah. Okay, I think like that proves to me enough that like, yeah, let's render that out and just take a quick look. I think that proves to me enough that I like the look of this enough to pursue it a little bit. I think this is like a little too beveled, but I do like the look. So, oh fuck, I can't cancel this. Fuck. Whatever. I guess we'll just leave it running in the background. Okay, so if I were to like do this, what I usually do is I start with like realistic cycles mode, which is like the ray trace render engine, and then if I'm gonna like move towards a game, switching into like the rasterized version might make a little bit of sense. Which makes it start to look like kind of shitty sometimes. So I think we can like fix this up by first of all removing that like background light. We don't need this anymore. How do I get this out? Close. And I just want nothing here. Remove. There we go. And then it looks like kind of like flat. I would like it to look a little bit more like there's like more lights in here. So maybe we'll like kind of give more light so that there's like just more things casting shadows. It's like, does that look like good enough? Yes, except it's like kind of bright. So let's kind of reduce, like dim the lights a little bit. Like, do I still like this? Or did I only like it because it looked hyper realistic? Hyper, that's a little bit of a stretch, but more realistic. I feel like this monitor looked a lot better before. I don't know what it is about it. It looks like super flat. I guess it's okay. Yeah, okay. I think that like maybe now it makes sense to try like moving this into Godot to see if we like if we were to render this like with some effects on it, like some like screen scroll, like some like scrolling on here or something, would we like that? And if we like that, then it makes sense to start trying to like figure out how we would implement this in our thing. So let's just dump this guy right now. I think if I just like hit export as GLTF and then say like somewhere in here I want to say apply my modifiers, this guy, and lighting, just lighting model, export, and nothing in here is crazy. Do I want everything? Everything looks good. I guess I don't want cameras. So but I think it'll probably filter those out. So if I just smack this button, could I make the screen glossy to make it look rounder? I think my screen's like already maximum glossiness, right? Like here, this is like the most reflective. I think it's just that there's the reflections in, yeah, like see here, you can like see the light in the background. And if I like increase the roughness, that you get like less light bounce. I think it looks pretty round as well. I'm okay with it. Okay. Let's pull this into Godot, and then we can start playing with like shader effects, which might be a little bit fun. Or maybe we can start trying to make like the dynamic part of it. Maybe we can see what it looks like if we start like typing stuff in. All right. So I think I have to install Godot real quick. Give it a sec. And maybe, I think we just launch it and we like create a new project. And we want to put it in this folder we just made, stream, start, Godot. That looks fine. Looks fine. And I guess, if I remember correctly, if I just like export into that folder, I think Godot automatically picks it up. I just kind of like smack the button here. And he now knows that this guy exists. And I think I can say like, new inherited scene. And we get something that like resembles what we had in there. It's not quite the same. Our texturing doesn't look like it applied correctly. Like the image, like coordinate mapping got a little bit fucked up, but we can just re-implement that. That's not the end of the world. That's not the end of the world. And I think if we want to get rid of this light, if I remember correctly, you'd add like a world environment. And here I just like tell him to fuck off. Perfect. Yeah, that's a perfect shitty environment. Clear color. Yeah. So then we need to add some lights in here like we did in Blender. So I think we can just like add a light. Directional light from a distance, like the sun, light bulb or candle, spotlight or lantern. I guess we want like an omni light, pretend it's a light bulb. And we want to do probably the same thing where we like maybe say set it up like in the corner here. Make it a little yellow. Maybe a little more like that. Yeah, that looks depressing as fuck. Perfect. Oh yeah, that's super yellow. And it's not casting shadows. Is there something I need to like enable to turn shadows on the light? Shadow? Nice. So we can like maybe like, oh yeah. That's gonna look nice. And then I think we need to like add a camera as well. And we'll just kind of stick it in approximately the same spot as we did in Blender, which is like here-ish. Wow. Game Engine's hot take. Pretty nice. Because when we were doing this with, if we were doing this with OpenGL directly, god damn, this would suck. What's this look like? I guess I have to save this. Save. Then I hit play, select current. Aren't people making desktop apps in Godot and Unreal now? I can see why you would. I would imagine that you lose out on a lot of like accessibility stuff if you were to do it that way. But I can definitely see the draw as well. Like it's just super responsive. Okay, that's probably good enough for now. He feels like rotated a little bit. Am I crazy? He's like, that's just a perspective thing. Well, what am I clicking on? I want the camera back. Camera, preview. Yeah, it does. Okay, one more. There we go. Okay, let's fix the texturing on there. So let's bring this monitor back to the same way we had it before in Blender. So we had like, probably we're gonna want like a shader on here anyways, like a code shader, so that we can like do like a procedural effect on it. So I guess we'll just do that. We will get a new shader material and we will create a new shader. and we will edit it. And here we need to start looking at like Godot shader. Introduction to shader, make your game shaders, shader documentation. This is probably what I want. Shading reference, that seems reasonable. Shading language, perfect. This is what I'm looking for. Somewhere they should tell me all of the things that they support. So what am I looking for? What's it bitching about? It wants shader type. Spatial. Looks like everyone's writing spatial. Shader type. How do I do this? Spatial. And then I assume that you need like a main function. I assume. And in here, you're going to do something like set like color properties on here. Oh, interesting. These are like merged. These are merged shaders. So they're not like OpenGL where I have like one fragment shader. These are like I specify fragment and vertex, and I assume that these guys have like different inputs and outputs that are like built into Godot. Like I saw albedo. I think it's like color. Where do I find OpenGL or Godot albedo fragment? I just want to see like somebody's going to tell me like all of the different things that they allow in here. Operators. Is this where I just was? Oh, here. This is what I was looking for. Fragment built-ins. Yeah. So I can set albedo. I can set emission. Like I was doing there. I can set roughness. Nice. So here, like I'm going to have roughness is equal to 0.0. And I should also be able to set the color to black. Oops. This is fragment. Nice. And the color equal to 0.0. I guess this is wants a vec3. Okay, there we go. So we have like roughness still feels like smooth. Albedo means color. Yeah, I think so. I don't remember why. Color comes with a vertex function. Albedo. Yeah, I don't know what this word means. I just noticed that Godot uses it. Fraction of sunlight that is diffusely reflected by a body. So it's just like a fancy name for like light color bounce off now. I see. I feel like the light isn't as like reflected in here as it was when I was using Blender. I wonder if it's like the size of the light maybe looks a little, maybe it's like a little fatter. Shadow mode, cube, shadow detail, energy. I don't think this is what I want. I mostly just want to understand why it's different. Right, like if I like bring this guy like right down here, he's not really bouncing off this the way I would expect it to. But maybe that's kind of expected. Like if I set this roughness to 1, like do I see a visible difference here? Oh, it does look different. So it might just be like the light is like big, which is fine. That's fine. Let's bring it back up to the ceiling. I don't know. Fuck it. Okay, so we wanted to like put the thing on here. So if I remember correctly, you can like say in here that you want like an image to be passed in, like we did before. He doesn't like that. Sampler, 2D capital D. Okay, he likes that. And then we can probably like import, I think if I remember correctly, you can like set like parameters from here. Yeah. So I can say shader parameter text empty. And so now we need like that same texture that we passed in before. Which I guess we'll just import it manually. So I think what did we do? We took a screenshot and pulled it in. So here, if I go to like files, I think I can just drag drop that same picture in. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. So then here on my shader, I should be able to set this guy to be like the screenshot, which it seems to like. That seems to be okay. Cool. And then in my shader, I should just like, let's just say if I like sample the texture with, do I have like some input coordinates? Fragment, what do they call it? Built-ins? Built-ins. Yeah, here we go. Fragment built-ins. So one of their inputs is UV and UV2. Interesting. I don't know why you would have two sets of UVs and only two sets of UVs, but sure. Okay, so we can probably say that our UV coordinate is, so we're gonna like say albedo is the same as if we sample our texture at our UV coordinate. So we say take in the texture and pass in our UV. And that should give us the picture on here. Sick. Sick. Which means that if we want to like adjust this, we can actually go back to this being like emission is equal to this guy. And then we need to filter it like we did in Blender. So we want to say like, what can we say, like vec3 color is equal to texture text UV. And I guess we want to like warp our UV coordinates like we did in Blender. So we can say vec2 UV is equal to UV, and then we can say like UV dot Y is equal to UV dot X. We want to like rotate it 90 or flip it 90 or something. So let's just see what happens if we swap Y and X. UV dot X equals UV dot Y. And here we pass in UV instead of that. And then we pass here color. And this should be albedo. This is supposed to be RGB again. Oops, so UVX is equal to temp. So that's not right. Ugh. Rotation is so hard. This is flipped on X, so I think we just need negative temp here. Nice, that looks better. You maybe will be able to do something swizzling with UVXY as UVYX. Ooh, that's kind of cool. You've piqued my curiosity. Does that... Ah, nice. And then we just invert X here. Nice, okay. So that's at least like the right way up. And then we want to scale it like we did before. So we'll just say like UV.X times equals 2. UV.Y times equals 2. For some reason it doesn't like that. Oh, because these aren't floats. Fine. And then we need to turn off repeating somehow. So that's going to be like something related to the texture, probably. Or maybe I clamp. I guess I just I clamp my UV coordinates so I don't end up out of bounds there. Where was I? How do I get back to the shader? I click this. And we can just say like float clamp is input val and returns a float, and this is just like if I remember correctly, I think GLSL shaders do a little better with ternary operators than if statements, because they are like, I don't remember why I think that, but I think I heard that somewhere. That could very much be wrong, but I'm going to write it that way anyways. So here we're going to return, the value is, if he is greater than 1.0, we're going to return 1.0. You think there's a built-in clamp? Ooh, I like that. Oh, look at that. Much better. Much better. I don't have to write on my own. So here we're just going to say, we're going to clamp the UVs. So uv.x is equal to clamp uv.x 0.0 1.0, and we do the same for y. Like this. We should stop seeing the repetition now. Now we see nothing though. That's kind of weird. Why is that? Oh, because these are just like negative or something. So maybe we have to do 1.0 minus. Yeah. Because this x value is getting out of the range. So we just have to make sure that when we flip it, we're flipping it relative to 1, not relative to 0. Ternary may be better if you evaluate both conditions and do a weighted multiply, but the condition, since there are no branches, but not sure how true. I would think that like a ternary still results in a branch though. But if I like, there might be something about like expression folding or something that goes better with ternaries. I don't remember, because like every time I think about it, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Okay. So let's scale this up again. Nice. Now that's working the way I want it to. And I just need to offset this now. So uv.x minus equals 0.5 or something. uv.y minus equals 0.5. And probably it makes sense if you just like put these things as like inputs as uniforms, these like scaling parameters. Then we can adjust them in the UI, which is kind of nice. So we can say uniform float, what, like x scale, and we multiply by x scale. And if we put like equals 2.0 here, I think that that will set the default, and then we just do the same thing for y, and we apply y scale, x offset, y offset, x offs, y offs, and these guys are 0.5. All right. We're starting to get somewhere. So here, I think like we can like, oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Drag this guy around, drag this guy around. Oh baby. So we want like this to look kind of like that. Oh, that's sick. That feels good. That feels good. Okay. Back in the shader, we want to do the same thing we did before, where this actually doesn't apply to the color, but we want it to, we don't want this, we want this to go out to the emission. We want to like linear map it so that it goes above. So we want to say like, is there a way to like get like the length of a color out of the vec3? Vec3 length GLSL. There must be. Yeah, okay. So we can say let color val, float color val is equal to length of color ish. And then so if all these are 1, it's 1, blah, blah, blah. And then we can just say, we can say like float mapped color val is something like, so we're going to have like, let your cell rust brain. Did I type let in there? I've been writing a lot of Rust. Here if we have like 1.0, 1.0, and the input value is like, I guess this is just input value is color and output value is color. So right now it's like linearly mapped. And we want to like kind of like basically say like our valid colors are like background is this and foreground is like this. What we kind of want to do is we kind of want to make like the difference between those like more extreme. So we're kind of trying to map this into like essentially a function that looks like this, right? So anything, and I guess like these could extend below. We don't really, we might not care because we're going to clamp them after. But that way it means that like the difference from black to white will be like maximum difference essentially. And so here we want to say like, we want to find the like minimum and maximum values here. So we're going to say like, color val, we're going to offset it negatively by some offset. So we'll say like background color. And then we're going to multiply this times let's see, that's going to end up with like, that ends us with this function essentially. And so we want to like multiply this height so that it becomes 1. So this is going to be like something 1.0 over that value is going to be the multiplier. So times foreground minus background, I think. Is that right? If I multiply this by 1 over. And then we just set foreground and background colors. So if our background and foreground are 0 and 1, this turns into color val minus nothing times 1.0 over 1.0. And so now, if I think that if we go into our like thing here, if I reduce this guy, we should start to see our whites look whiter. If I like do this, it get inverted. These don't seem to be doing jack shit. Probably because I didn't actually apply the values here. So this should be a vec3 of mapped color val. Like that. There we go. There we go. That looks like what I wanted. Maybe use an easing function. I think that's like essentially what I just wrote. Just like a really shitty one. So here, background should be 0, foreground should be 1. And if I reduce this guy, I should start seeing brighter. Nice. And if I see... Yeah. Is it... Oh, beautiful. That's exactly what I was looking for. Yeah. All right, that looks pretty good. And then we just want this to, instead of being white on the screen, emit some green. And then we can start getting into like shader effects. So here, let's say this RO albedo is just going to be black. Vec 3 0.0. And we want this guy to be like a emission of red 0, green this thing, blue 0. Oh, baby. Okay. All right. So I like hit play. It's just fucking broken. That's pretty cool. That's sick. Why am I seeing nothing? Is my camera missing? How the fuck did my camera end up over here? Hello? What am I doing? Didn't I already do this? Am I high? I swear I did this already. He's upside down? What the fuck did I do to this guy? Maybe we bring him a little closer even. Alright, that looks like okay. I don't know why that like thing is fucked, but like we're seeing like extension here. Oh, because the last pixel on this guy is 1.0. So we actually want to do something other than clamping our UV coordinates. We actually want, like, if our UV coordinates are out of bounds, then we just want to set it to black. So we can, like, go back. How do I get back to this guy? Click here. I see. So we want to actually say if uv.x is greater than 1.0 or uv.x is less than 0.0 or uv.y is greater than 1.0 or uv.y is less than 0.0. Color is equal to vec3 0.0. Yeah. Otherwise, we sample. And then this stuff goes away. And then I think maybe we need to define color up here. And maybe we initially just set him to black and then only reassign him in this case. That's clearly not doing the right thing because no matching function for vec, because I didn't write vec3 here. Oops. And expected brackets because I'm in Rusthead mode, so that doesn't work out. And he doesn't like, he doesn't like the bitwise OR for Boolean. Okay, there we go. So I think that probably fixes the like, yeah, that fixes the like streaming off the sides. Cool. And then what did I want to do? I wanted to like try punching in the animation that we did before, where like the cursor's blinking, we're writing on here. So I think the way to do that in Godot is probably to like use their label maker, render that to something, and then use the output of that render and like punch that onto this guy. So let's try, again, let's just first try typing something in Godot and seeing what that looks like. So I think here you can like add a like label. And if I like type something here, what does that do? It just kind of like writes it up in the top right left, which is kind of what I wanted. I want it to be like way fucking bigger. Size. Like if I like crank these up, it looks like the text size isn't changing, which isn't what I want. I want like stretch ratio. No. Font. Yeah, let's look at that maybe. Font. Theme, overrides, fonts, font. And I guess I would like, I have to give it a font so we can just pull in the same hack font we were using before. So somewhere in here we had stream start screen resources hack. So I drags in here. Looks like we have a font that exists, but he doesn't let me use that. Let's see. I go back here. Font. New bitmap font, maybe? And then in here, can I apply the resource? I missed something. Godot, custom, TTF. Might be dynamic font. Yeah, might as well click it and see. Settings. Oh, so here this guy has like the font size, which is good. And then the font data is a new dynamic font data, which comes from this guy. Perfect. Okay. That looks about right. So if I say like hello world, why don't I see him anymore? Anchor. Like, did I like fuck up my size, position, size? Like, if I hit play, oh, I do see him up there. Okay. So here, if I like crank this up to like 42. There we go. Okay. Yeah, nice. So I want to probably be like a little bigger. Let's say like 64. And then I think that you can apply these things called like render buffers is their name in render targets is what their name in OpenGL if I remember correctly. And I can say like, hey, Godot, please render to this like texture instead of to the screen, and then I'll use that somewhere else. Yeah, viewports. Speaking of fonts, Katie blew up on me a few days ago. My hack font stopped existing and console started using non-monospace fonts. That was annoying. Yeah, dude, that sounds awful. I hate it when like, for some reason, like where you want monospace fonts, like it feels so off-putting when they're not there. And I'm like, I don't know if I'd be like that upset if I had monospace fonts everywhere. I'm not really sure. I'm sure, I guess if I tried it, I'd probably find out this shit, but whatever. Frame buffer? Yeah, that's probably the word I'm thinking for. There's like render target, OpenGL. There's like frame buffers and render buffers, if I remember correctly. Maybe frame buffer is, frame buffer texture. Yeah. So here they say like, hey, you can have like a render buffer, which is just a texture, but like with a hint to the GPU that you're not going to use it from with another shader. But we are, so okay. I think that this is the same topic. the same concept. Where here, I think if we say like viewport, if we put this label inside this viewport, I think we have to set the size. So let's just say it's like something big, 496 by 496. I think now when I press play, the like label is gone, and I think I can like pass that as an input to my shader if I remember correctly. So somewhere here, shader. No, I want texture. I should be able to replace this with like viewport texture. It's not set as local to scene, so I just turn on local scene. I don't know what that means. What the fuck is local to scene? What does that mean? What does it mean? Resource loading time of the game. So by default they're shared between all scene instances, and they're basically saying that I can't use a viewport because it needs to be rendered per frame, and like I guess the viewport that I'm gonna access might not exist in the context of all versions of this guy. Yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense. So local scene on, viewport texture, and I select this viewport. Okay, and if I hit play now, I see a bunch of green, probably because my shader is doing some like processing of the data that doesn't work anymore. So let's go back, here, and if I set my background to 0 and my foreground to 1 again, whoa, we can kind of see it down there in the corner. We see a hello world down there. Okay, so I guess here, let's make our our viewport like a lot smaller, and that becomes a lot bigger, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, baby, look at that. Okay, sick. So now we need to adjust our scaling a little bit. There we go. And I guess that means that now we could probably start typing out like custom shit. I guess what's kind of odd here is that like the text size seems to be unrelated to the viewport size. So I guess that's okay. So if we just make the viewport size something constant, and having it be like 1024 by 1024 is like, that's like a reasonable CRT resolution. How do I like transparent background? That's probably better. We could then, why is he upside down? Why the like V flip on? I don't know what the hell. That's weird. I don't know why that's happening. Like, seems like it should be default to put my stuff the right way up, but whatever. Okay. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. So now we have like a constant text size, and there's like a certain amount that we can pack in there, but that's okay. And so now we could just say like, we could copy paste the same thing. So we could say like stream starting, and oops, we need to fix our this guy. So this should be 2 and 3, not -3. Okay. And Y offset, like we can kind of like put this, I guess technically like the whole texture takes up this whole thing. So putting it 0, 0 makes sense. And then adjusting in the label maybe. So you could say like, dum, 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 dum. I think that this will auto update actually, which is kind of fun. So I can like just put this here and just say like, hello world. Okay, so looks like so maybe some of our scaling still isn't the way we want it. So maybe our X and Y scale should be 1 now, because we're not like warping this shit. Our offsets could also be 0. The background and foreground thing still makes sense, and that's starting to look pretty decent. I guess our X offset and Y offset need to be set. Maybe not. And I don't like there's a lot of space between them. That might be because I put a lot of space between them. Yeah, it is. So I can say like stream starting, and do I like see that show up? Nice. I can like put this down here. Hello world. All right. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. I guess within this viewport, we're also going to have to render the cursor. And I guess we can like, maybe there's a way to like find the end of the text in there. Wow, that shadow resolution's shit. Can we fix that? That looks like shite. It's probably on the label. I feel like the font size is affecting its size on screen. I think that's true, and I think I want it that way. Because then we can just set like a static font size and call it a day, I think. Shadow on. How do I like update the shadow detail? Dual paraboloid range. Godot low shadow resolution. Project settings, rendering quality. I see. Project settings, quality. And just so like one of these guys is just like the shadow. So if I like double this guy, does he just like look way better? I'm not really convinced that that's doing anything. Not convinced. Maybe this guy? Oh, editor must be restarted for change to take effect. Oh, well, whatever. I'll fix that later. That's not important because I'm not even really convinced I'm going to use Godot. I'm just trying to like get a feel for like what it could look like. Because I kind of want to use this as an excuse to try 3D rendering manually in OpenGL anyways. It's kind of fun to get a good feel for it first. Okay. So maybe we can like shove in the cursor animation. So probably in here, we're gonna add like a script that's going to like maybe like draw a box on screen somewhere depending on where the label ended. So I guess the first thing we want to do is check where the label ended. So we can say like, is it static? Do they have static? Label is equal to label? Does that work? Expected func. Var. Do I put var here? Do I need to put this up here? Use onReady var. All right. So I guess this is like our like after construction, you call this guy. That seems reasonable. And then here we can say like label dot I guess we have to like look at this guy and see. Label, does he have like a like where the cursor ends? Get total character count? No. Font, normal. None of these guys are like exactly where the cursor ends. So I guess I just won't animate the cursor for now. I'm okay with like, again, I shouldn't get so anal about this when I'm just like trying to like experiment. So maybe what we'll do is we'll do the same thing that we did in our initial demo. Maybe try removing a block ASCII character at the end of the label. Yeah, let's see. Block ASCII character. I was going to do an underscore, but I like the idea of this guy. That seems pretty sick. How do I copy him? That's a picture. How do I... Is there no way for me to like copy the character out? Oh my god, let me copy it. Block square. No, this is the same thing. Fuck. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty cool. So we can just here in our script, wherever the fuck that is, we're probably gonna want to like set the text depending on time. So like maybe we'll just do something like on let's say like var next oopsies next character is equal to we'll say like we want to like have some concept of like time. So maybe on ready, can we check well, I guess there's no concept of like static time here, only deltas. Is that true? Godot. Yeah, okay, that's probably true. I'm willing to put up with that. So we're just gonna say var next character time, and we're gonna start this at 0. And here we're gonna say if next character time is 0, is less than or equal to 0. Is this Python-y? I think it is. Then we're gonna like print the next character. So we're gonna update the label. So we're gonna say like label text. So, tell me what this is. Label dot text, and then there's probably like a dot append on here, or push. Is there begins with? Is there like a push on here? LMNOP. No push. Maybe it's just a plus equals. I'll try plus equals. Label.text plus equals. And we're going to need to have like a list of characters that we're starting with. So we're going to say like var to type is equal to hello world. And here we're going to like push the next character in. So I guess like it would be nice to like pop from the front of this guy, or we can just store the index. So we can say like typed index is equal to 0, and we'll just say to typed idx plus equals 1, and we'll reset the delta. So we'll say next character time is equal to 1.0 or something. I don't know like what unit delta is in, so maybe we'll just like do 0.25 or something for now. We'll see if it like is in seconds, and we'll see if we get 4 characters per second. And then we say, I guess the first thing for every frame is we say next character time minus equals delta. And then we should see, okay, that seems reasonable. That seemed reasonable. So we also need to check if the index is out of range. So let's just say and typed index is less than length of label.text. Cool. And then we also want to reset the text here to be nothing. Yeah, all right. And then we can just speed this the fuck up. So here this guy's just gonna be like 0.05 or something. Type quick. All right. I think I'm happy with like that. I think maybe it would be kind of fun to like try adding some of those like CRT effects. CRT effect green. Right, like you see like stuff where they have like banding and stuff. Yeah. Here. Right, like I know that's not actually how anything ever looked, I'm pretty sure, but it is kind of fun to draw that. So let's try throwing that effect on here. 'Cause I want to see how that would look. Womp womp womp. Yosh, thanks for the prime. Love it. Okay, so I guess we're gonna be like in screen space in our shader. I guess depending on where we are in Y, these shaders are really had CRT stuff. Let's see. Oh, cool. Yeah. This is the kind of thing I'm looking for. So why, like, what are they doing here? They're essentially, they're putting like, they have like an array of pixels, and it looks like they're doing like a little bit of like a square wave thing, as well as like sub pixel in here. Oh, so maybe it's not square wave. Maybe this is like RGB, and like the black is like blue is not very active there. So like if I look for like a white, here I should be seeing like RGB, G, RG. Where's like blue in here? Kind of hard to see because it's so small. But that is kind of cool. That is kind of cool. So I guess to do this, yeah, I guess we're saying like B, like RGB, and then some sort of black in between. I'm not really sure why there's black in between. Okay, I'm gonna start with trying to implement like a scrolling this thing because that's really fucking easy. And then maybe we'll move on from there. I ported an emulator CRT shader to GLSL here. Do I want to look? I feel like looking is cheating and less fun. So maybe I'll do something like shitty first and then look after, because like I just want to, it kind of like changes what will happen if I look in the box, you know? So I think what we want to do is I want like some sort of like time offset. And maybe I'll like basically move this time forward as we move through time in the world. And then I just want like some sort of like frequency for the like scan lines. So let's call this scan line freak. And then essentially all we're gonna do is we're gonna say let Rust world float scan line value is going to be something like sine, and we're going to take our UV-Y position. The unmodified one I think is probably fine here because the scaling was more for like the text and stuff inside. And we're going to multiply this by scanline freak, which means that here we should probably have like, something like 6 pi or something. Or, well, I'll put 1.0 for now and we'll figure it out. Plus time, probably. And I guess probably the time should also be scaled by something, but we'll find that out pretty soon. Maybe a plus time here makes sense as well. I guess you might want like a time scale as well. Times time scale. Okay. And then here, we're just going to add in something based off of that, and we might want to like clamp it as well. But for now, let's just kind of say like this is plus scanline, or maybe we multiply by the scanline value. Okay, so now we actually okay, so this is just fucking broken. So how do I get back? I want to go back. Let me back. How do I get into the shader? Fuck. We're here, click shader, and here he's mad because I didn't put a semicolon here. Okay, and now let's kind of like take a look at those values and see if I modify them, if I get something sane. So scanline frequency, if I like crank this up, I'm seeing something like show up on the right here, which is a good sign. And so let's think this was like 100. And like, do I see? Okay, so here, at least on the right side, in that like little ball, we're seeing the effect that I was looking for, right? Like over time, the scan lines happen, but I'm not seeing that here for some reason. I'm not really sure why that is. I'm gonna close this guy. Oh, it might actually be because he's broken. Okay, nice. That's something. So this should actually be related to X, not Y. So how do I go back? Why does it keep jumping around? I just want to be in the right spot. Fuck. This was here, here, here. So this should be X because we actually flipped them later. Programmers try not to reinvent GIFs and GLSL shaders challenge. Difficulty impossible. Hey man, we're gonna reinvent everything forever. That's why we're here. Maybe I can open a 3D viewport and we can see it. Ah, nice. So, then here we can go back to the shader parameters and see if I like increase the frequency to like 500, 600, and I probably want this to be limited in some way. If I press play now, do I start seeing like that looks really fucked up. Yeah, probably because I actually want it to, I don't want these scan lines everywhere. I only want them where the text is, or I want them to be like really faint everywhere else is probably the real answer. So we can go back into the shader and say like, we want this to be like scaled down to like times scanline brightness. And then we can put a uniform float scanline brightness is equal to 0.25 or something. Is that what I want? Sorry, thinking. I guess I want like on the dark areas for it to be dark and on the bright areas for it to be bright. So I think I actually do want this to be 1.0 actually, and I'll adjust the brightness of everything else to compensate. So I guess the background color, we have in our viewport alpha 0. So let's maybe like just for now, I want to see, we'll turn this shit off. And I just want to see what happens if I look at the texture that we pulled out, alpha value. So, because I think that that's the difference between if we should be drawing something or not. So we can say vec or float alpha is equal to 0.0, and here we'll just say alpha is equal to RGBA, I guess is probably it. And then here we can print this as alpha. Oops. It didn't like that for some reason. God damn it, how do I get back, man? I hate that it like kicks me out of where I was. So unknown identifier A, so this should be alpha. And yeah, okay. So that's what I want. So I want to multiply the scan lines by the alpha, but like scaled probably. So like the dark sections are going to look a little less, like they're going to still have the scan lines, but look darker. So maybe we're going to do like alpha plus, yeah. So you're going to say scan line val is equal to like increased by some amount, probably some small amount, right? And then we're going to clamp this to 0 and 1, and then we're going to I guess it's alpha times I guess this is also plus the mapped color val. Yeah. Green. So we're gonna say float green is this. This is going to be back to 0.0. And here, if I type green here, let's hit play and see what we get. So the dark stuff, we're not seeing any scan lines. Actually, we're not seeing any scan lines at all. So we fucked something up. You can multiply it by the color of the pixel you're rendering. Yeah, that is kind of what I'm trying to do, but I'm kind of trying to do it like... Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. I should be doing that, not by alpha. So I should be doing mapped color val times the scanline val plus like the minimum brightness and then clamped to 0 and 1. And I think that should do it. Okay, so that's closer, except the dark version looks like shit. So let's go try to figure out why that is. So maybe this guy just needs to be like really dark. Can I just like go to the 3D view while we look at this, and will that... Like, shouldn't this be like essentially nothing? Because if I have like mapped color val of 0, scanline val of 0, yeah, I'm missing why that wouldn't work. Right, because like if I just say green is the mapped color val, take out everything else, right? That does what I want. So I would think that everything else, if I like multiply by this... Oh, is sine -1 to 1? It totally is, isn't it? Oh, but that should be fine because we're clamping. So if we multiply... Oh, maybe it's... Let's... Am I... Hi. Sine... Pi. 0. Sine 0. 0. Sine 3.14. Oh, I want sine pi over 2. Yeah, that's 1. So this guy should be in the range 0 to 1, or -1 to 1, I guess, because this is 3 times pi over 2 should be -1. Yeah, so you should be in the range -1 to 1. And, oh my god, get me back in there. So this is some output of sine, so it should be -1 to 1. So if I multiply any number here by -1, like all of the 0 area here, if I multiply this by scanline val, should either be... Yeah, I don't understand why this would ever show green in the dark sections, right? Like, I'm totally missing why this stuff... Oh! Is it because I'm not using the same coordinate system in some way? No. I guess I'll try clamping the scanline value manually and see if that changes anything. I don't think it should, but I guess there's a chance. So I could like clamp this guy to 0 and 1. Try that. He doesn't like that because I probably just fucked up some text. Oh my god, how do I get back? I'm gonna lose my mind. Right, because here I forgot to do that. Remove that semicolon. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay. So for some reason, like, I had to manually clamp it, and I don't really understand why, but that's okay. That's okay. And so the last thing to do here is like have some minimum value for when the scan lines are active. All right, that looks okay. And then we need to scroll the scan lines with time. So what's like the... here, I guess, in our thing, we just update the time on... I guess it's not in this one. We need a new script. Which I guess comes on the screen itself. So, because we're updating his texture. Maybe GLSL sign doesn't go from -1 to 1. That seems possible. Trigonometrics. It's weird that it doesn't tell me the output range. GLSL sine output value. It goes negative 1, 1. Yeah, so I guess it must be something about like multiplying by -1, not doing what I expected in that case. But whatever, that's fine. Clamping to 0 is a fine answer to that. I just wish I understood it a little better. Okay, so on the screen itself, we're going to add a new script that essentially just updates the time variable. So we're just going to say every time you get a delta function in here, just say, how do I like get myself? Is it just shader dot set uniform set? The identifier shader isn't declared. Is it like self dot shader mesh instance has somewhere on him get surface material? That's probably it. Get surface material. I probably pass in the first material. Shader set uniform set. We'll click it. We'll click it. So shader is a shader, and he has set default texture param, has param. How do I like set parameters? Maybe I was multiplying two negative numbers. Yeah, it seems possible. Seems possible. Am I high? Has param? Get param? One of you, like, how do I not have the way to set a shader? Oh, shader material is maybe what I want. And here I can set shader param. Aha, 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 aha. So here I want to say set shader param and time to something plus delta. So we'll just say last plus delta, and then we'll say var last equals 0. And here we'll say last plus equals delta. And I guess here we can just put last in here instead. And hopefully we should see scrolling with time. We did until something crashed. How do I see that? Debugger, errors, add function process, and typed index is less than length label.text. So why is he still crashing? Invalid index 12. Is string length not accessed the way I think it is? Because we have a fucking guard for this. Text is a string. And is there like a length field on here? Oh, maybe I just type length instead of typing len string like that. Still no. What the am I fucking high? If next character time is less than or equal to 0 and typed index is less than the length, dude, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Print typed index and label.text.length. Where do I see the output? Output. What are these numbers? 4, 15, 26. Oh, maybe I don't need to put like a fucking space in here. Aha, yeah. Oh, it's because I'm fucking an idiot. This should be less than length of to type, not the current string, because that will just always be bigger. There we go. Yeah, that's okay. I don't really like it that much. I don't like that effect. But we don't do it. Too fast, maybe? Yeah, that's possible. I think we can actually just adjust that on the fly if I set this up right. Keep above others. And we can go here and we can set our time scale to be lower. Like maybe like 25. 0. 25. Why is this doing nothing? Did I not use that in the shader? Time times time scale. I don't think you can hot reload shader parameters. Oh, that sucks. I thought you could. Because, like, yeah, other things were, I feel like, applying immediately before, but it does seem like not anymore. So let's set this to like 25 and 0 and restart. I wasn't doing it before. I could have sworn that I was adjusting the text position automatically, but it could be fun. I could be wrong. Too few arguments to lens intrinsic. What the fuck? Where did my fucking... I must have undone something by mistake. Oh, that's fucking scary. Maybe still too fast even. Maybe I want it to be like 10. That's kind of cool. There's like some like weird aliasing artifacts, but... And the dark version is too bright, so let's maybe pull that back a little bit. So this guy, we can just like maybe put him to 1/10. Maybe I don't want it to move. That seems possible. I think I do want it to move just even slower. Yeah, maybe higher frequency as well. Yeah, okay. There's like some like, I forget what this is called, but there's like some funny effect that this is causing to do with the camera. But I think that's close. That's definitely, I think that I'm definitely interested in the concept of doing it this way instead of what we were doing before. So I think this is all an excuse, to be honest. This is all an excuse to experiment with 3D rendering. And I think that this has done a good enough job of convincing me that it would be fun to try to implement this type of scene manually by myself without Godot. Because that's where the real fun lies. And so I think probably I'm gonna like spend the next few streams kind of like learning about how do we load this like CRT model into our OpenGL application, and how do we like render materials that have like different roughness, and like how do we place the light, like all of that seems like it could be kind of fun. So I'll probably do that next. Is StreamOS on pause for now? I don't know. I do have more that I want to do on it. And I think it's just kind of like a daily thing. Like, how do I say this? If I think so, what the product is that we're making is not actually any individual thing, right? Nobody in the world is ever going to use StreamOS. This doesn't fucking matter what's on the screen right now. Like, this doesn't fucking matter. But what like does, I think that like what is like valuable in what we're doing is like learning things. And I think that, so like the stream is kind of the product. And I think that what's important is if I'm interested in something, to pursue that, if that makes sense. So I am still interested in the StreamOS stuff, but at this point in time, I'm slightly more interested in this stuff. And that means that if I work on this, I'm more likely to continue streaming. And so I don't think that StreamOS is on like a full pause, but I think that like tomorrow I'm probably going to wake up and I'm going to be more interested in this. And at some point I'm going to be interested in StreamOS again. And so, yeah, I think scene definitely needs some coziness. Looks like a cubicle. That's kind of the vibe I was going for. I kind of want it to look like somebody's clocked in at the office, because that's like in my head where CRTs live. But yeah, we could do for some coziness as well. But anyways, all this is an excuse. Tomorrow, Stanley Parable ripoff, yay. So I think we'll come back tomorrow, and maybe it would be kind of fun to try to load the model of a CRT and render it OpenGL manually. And maybe like the next, maybe like depending on how far we get, it'd be kind of fun to try to like do like materials and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's what we're gonna work on. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, I stream most days around like 1 or 2 p.m. Pacific time for around 1 or 2 hours. I have a YouTube channel linked in the Twitch description if you miss any streams or you want to see like what I've worked on before or whatever. There is a YouTube link there that will have all the VODs uploaded. There's a GitHub link there as well if you want to like see what we've been working on. I don't know. I think again this is like kind of like scratch code, so this probably won't end up on there. But like things that we're working on a little more long term should end up there. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to say hi live, pop by, whatever, talk and chat, there's a Twitch link in the YouTube description. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!